All right, good morning. It's Monday morning. I'm doing him dirty. I went ahead and went live without telling Cameron I was about to, so he was still screwing around with his coffee. So I hope you read the headline. Ghislaine Maxwell has been scheduled for a posthumous COVID-19 diagnosis. Here's what's going to happen. In a couple of days here, we're going to find Ghislaine brutally mauled and hanged with her wrists slit from the metatarsals to the elbow, blood everywhere, clear signs of a struggle, bruises all over her body. Uh, Probably going to be pretty clear that her neck was broken before she was actually hung, and so she was hung post mortem. And then the autopsy will show incontrovertible evidence that she died of COVID 19.
Yeah,
I mean, the pedophiles know that we're not going to buy a second suicide in this case. It's just we're not going to buy it. So it's going to be COVID.
look, at this point, um, a legit ass meteor could hit the jail and kill dozens of people. And I wonder if NASA was part of the conspiracy.
I wouldn't. I'd assume it was done by the Clockwork Elves.
Oh,
That
good morning, Danny. Always a pleasure.
that the Clintons got together and smoked some ayahuasca and ordered Elrond to launch Halley's Comet, and well, that'd be that. I didn't know you could have a comet laced with COVID.
Yeah.
You're still getting woke up there, aren't you, Cameron?
No, I'm awake. It just,
Oh, I need to turn my light on. I'm not
no, but the things that she's charged with, apparently, man, not only did she participate in the rapes, but the big thing about her was she was the groomer. She was the one who set up these young ladies for their experiences, and that makes me wonder who's more evil, the lion or the Roman that throws the Christians to the lion for having the wrong thing.
Yeah, what was it they called black slave traders?
Black slave traders.
There was a word for it. Um, but yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
bless you.
thank you. You know what bothers me is we joked and we joked and we joked about how Epstein's going to end up killing himself. Epstein's going to end up killing himself. And then he did.
And nobody was surprised.
And now we're all joking that,
In fact, the only thing anybody was surprised about with Epstein killing himself was how just lazily it was done. I mean, it, there's not a reasonable person out there that doesn't believe Epstein was murdered to protect the people whose secrets he knew. The only real question is, was it an organized cabal of elite pedophiles, or was it just one elite pedophile in particular that took the risk on everyone else's behalf without consulting them? Right? When
you mean
if
like a
this,
prince?
for example, um, I mean, it would not even surprise me to learn that the Queen and MI6 were involved explicitly to protect the prince. In fact, exclusively to protect the prince without any interest whatsoever in the exposure of the Clintons or any other elite pedophiles involved in that chain. Um,
I don't know. The queen appears to be very unhappy with the prince.
well, I could be pretty unhappy with one of my kids, and I'm pretty sure they'd still be my kids. And I do mean pretty unhappy. Um, that's yeah. This is.
No, I mean you make a fair point. Um,
I mean, if my baby girl calls me and says, "Dad, I have a boy, I have some boy troubles, some boy problems here," I'll ask. My first question will be like you think you like him, or you need me to help you hide a body? Because you know we're good. I just need to know if I'm packing a shovel.
that's
I kid. I would use a shovel to hide a body. Shit.
no,
I'd
no lie
almost
in a
guarantee it
bathtub.
gets found.
No, lie in a bathtub. Or if you know a pig farmer,
Lie in a bathtub. You really haven't seen you really haven't seen Breaking Bad, have you?
no, I haven't.
Okay, so this is for Cameron's benefit more than anybody else's. Uh, there's a whole deal in Breaking Bad toward the beginning where they end up with these two bodies that they need to dispose of, and so they use it's not hydrochloric, it's hydrofluoric acid. They use hydrofluoric acid to dissolve the bodies, and the the chemistry teacher tells the meth dealer, "Okay, look, you need to go find this particular type of plastic." He's talking about the big Tupperware bins that most of us use to just store things in, right? Just that plastic Tupperware bin type of thing. It's a certain type of plastic, and he tells him it'll if it's the right kind, it'll have this symbol on the bottom of it. Just get a tub like that, and the meth dealer Jesse, I think, yeah, Pinkman, he can't find one big enough to put a whole body in. And Walt, the professor, is like, well, then buy more than one and we'll chop him up and put him in there. And then Walt has to go do something. And when he comes back, Jesse says, I don't know why you had me running all over town looking for stupid plastic bins when I've got a perfectly good bathtub upstairs. Like, wait, what? Because the hydrofluoric acid will dissolve the person, his clothing, the bones, even the metal from the guns that they throw in the bathtub. And oh, the bathtub. It's different from hydrochloric or sulfuric acids in that it will eat through glasses and uh, ceramics, but not through that certain type of plastic. And the bathtub comes the bloody mess of a bathtub comes falling down through the ceiling on top of them. Well, in front of them. So yeah, not the bathtub, Cameron. Not the bathtub. Now,
Well, I mean, only
that's
if you're using
hydrofluoric
hydrofluoric.
acid.
Yeah.
That's yeah. There are other acids, but the other acids are not as efficient for the task. You can't dissolve the enemy's weapons in it.
So,
That's why you go to the hydrofluoric.
so I do have a bit of a theory about how Maxwell doesn't get dead. She fingers Trump, and mind you, it doesn't matter if Trump's actually guilty.
Right. He's just a good smokescreen for her. And
So,
we've already been down that chain a little bit. When everything first started going on, when Epstein was first arrested, there was a spate of well, Donald Trump flew on the Lolita Express, and it turns out, oh no, there's actually a detailed registry, and it does show Clinton flying on the Lolita Express, a dozen times or whatever, but not Trump. The only thing you've got on Trump with Epstein is they met on occasion, and then at some point Epstein made a move on an underage girl at I think it was at Mar-a-Lago, but it was at one of Trump's properties. And after, I'm almost certain it was Mar-a-Lago.
It was.
And after that, Trump threw him off the property, and he was never allowed back. So,
Yeah, but seriously, we're we're coming down to it. Only we're almost exactly 100 days away from the election. There's always an October surprise. What if the October surprise is the president is a pedophile? Because as it stands right now, man, I just don't trust these polls. Clinton was ahead by similar margins, and we all know how that worked out.
yep.
And Clinton had a small, dedicated fan base that were just jazzed about the first woman president. Who's excited about Joe Biden other than Carly Fiorina? But I mean, who's excited about Joe Biden?
Well,
Nobody.
you gotta assume that via the DNC, Biden is using the same Ukrainian and Russian connections to try and gin up fake Ukraine and Russia conspiracies around Donald Trump. Um, and I mean, let's be real. Biden's got huge, long-standing, deep, corrupt ties, very obvious ties, very well documented and evidence ties to Ukraine, Russia, a lot of the Middle East, and uh, 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 China. And just okay, we're getting off topic here, but since we're off topic, let me do this. It is worth reminding people constantly that China is ruled by the Chinese Communist Party. So let me be very clear about what that means. Here's an analogy. If after Hitler died, the Nazis remained in power, let's say Trump was removed from the White House and then Pence continued as the Republican president. The Republican Party stays in power, right? So if you had Nazi Germany, Hitler goes away, but the Nazi Party doesn't. That's what China actually is. It is still the same Chinese Communist Party that was led by Chairman Mao. The only thing that has changed is the figurehead.
Chairman.
Yeah, it's adorable, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, you see, what I was going to suggest was what if this October surprise is the president was one of Epstein's pedos?
See,
And
I don't. It wouldn't surprise. That would not surprise me, but I don't see how they make it stick. Um, and I think it's. I think that's a risky game for them to play because of Joe Biden. It could be that the October surprise comes from the Republicans, and it's oh look, Biden and Obama went with Clinton on the Lolita Express a few times. I mean, we already know Obama was he experimented with a lot of cocaine.
yeah, but I mean, drug use doesn't mean you diddle kids.
It does when you're a Democrat.
I think that has more to do with being a Democrat than doing drugs.
Agreed.
No, but look, you wouldn't even necessarily have to make it stick. What I envision in my mind is she does start to sing. Names get leaked out to the press. People get arrested. and it's a bunch of people we can believe. Like, let's say she goes, "Oh yeah, Bill Cosby was friends with Epstein, and Kevin Spacey was friends with Epstein, and the Clintons were friends with Epstein," and they go ahead and burn all these people to the ground, and then she lumps Trump into that same category. The media has the perfect story baked right in. Well, the president's an office holder, so he can't be persecuted for most crimes. And if we are going to persecute him for crimes, it's much more difficult to do because he's an office holder.
I think you mean prosecute, but yeah. Okay,
No, I mean
so
persecuted.
oh no, you can absolutely be persecuted for a crime. Persecution's not a legal activity.
It was one of those with layers, sir. Layers. It's like an onion. I used the wrong word on purpose. The whole thing with Russia was a persecution, not a
Yes.
prosecution. The whole thing with Ukraine, while technically did somewhat become a prosecution, it was more of a persecution. Maybe I do need more coffee. I thought I was making myself very clear.
No. That's okay though. Maybe I missed something, and maybe well, but let me get over to this then. Let's assume we do get that October surprise. I don't think that's going to be the October surprise because, quite frankly, um, I don't see how a competent strategist could have a high expectation of that particular October surprise, and here's why. It won't change anybody's mind because it, if Maxwell was to finger Trump, I'm going to have a hard time believing it, especially when she kind of points the finger and what she says is not I saw him do X. It's more Epstein and Trump met. They encountered one another. They knew one another. Um, she's going to say something like Donald Trump knew Jeffrey Epstein, and the press is going to report that as being the same as saying that Donald Trump raped 1,000 children. And they'll report it that way. They'll get debunked as the actual statement gets broader and broader circulation, and the net result will be that the Democrats all believe he's a pedophile, and the Republicans don't.
Yeah, but
So it will have no it doesn't stand to have a useful strategic effect on the election because
I
it's
don't
not
know.
going to change anybody's mind.
You don't even have to necessarily change somebody's mind. You just have to create just enough doubt at the 11th hour. Take a state like Florida. It's always a shit show. And then some other states that Donald Trump managed to just barely squeak out a win in. States like, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and stuff like that. I mean, you've really, statistically speaking, you have to you have to create that doubt in about 1% of people, and then the electoral map goes solid blue. Because by hook or by crook, and probably by crook, Joe Biden will win the popular vote. I think it's fair to assume that that's already baked into the cake. All you got to do,
I would not make that assumption.
oh, come on, man, they have California and New York. If Hillary can win the popular vote, Joe Biden can win the popular vote. Like, I just,
Well, now something worth paying attention to there is this. The Donald won the electoral college not by mere campaigning, but by campaigning for specific key victories, right? He knew the game, he studied the game, he hired a team that studied the game, and they played to win it. We will not see the same strategy this time around because, well, he's already done it. He's going to set up a different type of Hail Mary. And so if the game, because I mean, Biden's only hope is to win every blue wall state, and that's just not going to happen. Um, his the enthusiasm for Biden is non-existent. Um, and quite simply, I don't think a lot of the BLM activists are going to vote for Biden. A lot of them will vote for Biden just to vote not Trump. Um, but a lot of them are going to just not vote. And something that I
I
am
don't know,
becoming.
man.
Go ahead.
If they could vote for Hillary, who described Robert Byrd as a mentor, I mean, but if they can look past that, then they can look past anything Joe Biden ever said or did.
Maybe, but 4 years ago they weren't talking about burning down white Jesus.
Oh no, they were. They were just doing it much more quietly.
No, there's a difference between a handful of radicals saying it and it being a main commentary in open dialogue. Uh 4 years ago was a very different creature.
I don't know, man. You're talking about 60 something million votes for Hillary, 60 something million votes for Trump. I mean, all you got to do is create doubt in the right 50,000, 100,000, 150,000 people. And some of those states where Trump only won by like 10,000 votes, 20,000 votes, like that coupled with the obvious cheating that the Democrats are going to engage in.
So, okay, so we've gone way off of Ghislaine Maxwell. Well, not way off,
Not
because
really.
we're still talking about the October surprise. Um, my greater point there is the October surprise with Ghislaine pointing at Trump. It's not going to surprise anyone that she makes the claim. A lot of the Democrats already think that that's the case because they have it in their heads that dating is rape. Um, that because seriously, if y'all haven't, I I absolutely recommend you go and look at the various claims that were made, because the media reports over and over that again that there were dozens of sexual assault and rape claims filed against President Trump. No, for start, there were not numerous claims filed against him. There were numerous women who made statements to the press, and those statements to the press, almost without exception, were things like, "Well, I'm a porn star, and Donald Trump invited me and one of my friends to come back to his penthouse, where he fed us a $500 steak dinner, and then he tried to kiss me." Wait. And then he tried to kiss you. Yeah, the nerve. You didn't have sex with him. Well, no, he he didn't push you around or nothing. Well, no, he tried to kiss me after dinner. He invited you up to his room. You went voluntarily. Well, yeah, it was a $500 steak dinner, and and then he tried to kiss you goodnight when you were leaving. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Gee, I wonder why a rich guy like
and
Trump wants to
that's
get a porn
rape.
star tipsy.
And that so those are the rape claims. Remember with Stormy Daniels, she was there's a reason she was the big controversy, because she was the one that talked about the experience in detail. But she never said that he raped her. She never said that he sexually assaulted her. The only claim she made was that he had sex with her while he was married. And then, oh, by the way, as underreported as it went, you may not even have heard of it. I know you have because we've talked about it, Cameron, but Stormy recanted the entire claim.
No, that's that's still so funny to me.
She took it all back. She said, "No, it never happened. I was just trying to sell a book. I was just trying to make some money." Um,
And what's really funny is I think they slept together.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, the man has. Let's be real. The man has a type, and she fits it. And okay, fair enough. But who knows? Maybe she's the one porn star he didn't sleep with.
Oh. Well, look, man, there's a whole bunch of stuff, in particular running over protesters, but maybe we should save that for Taco Tuesday because I gotta go to my first stop. I should have just took this whole week off.
Yeah, well, working tomorrow. So let me just throw that out there for the audience. You know, both of them. So let's see. There's three of them today. So these are low numbers for us lately. But anyway, um, so we'll be back tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are looking a little sketchy because we're going to be. Well, no, I guess no. We'll do Wednesday morning. Thursday and Friday are going to be a little touch and go because we are not going to be. I will not be in the studio Thursday and Friday. Cameron and I will be on location, um, beginning principal photography on our summer thriller film, and so we will see. We're going to try to do the show from the set first thing that morning, and it might be us and the whole damn crew. And if we can pull that off, it'll be pretty cool.
If.
But there's a whole lot of if coming off of this plan, and we'll see how that goes, and we will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be safe out there. It's time to go to work.